In the last lecture, I discussed regarding the sample embedded systems on MSP 430 microcontrollers. I will gave you one examples, and also I will tell you some information regarding that how can you able to write the programs. Whenever I will discuss the programs, MSC 430 programs in the lab section, then I will give you more idea about that. Now today I will going to discuss the memory mapped peripherals. So all of you know that whenever you are designing the systems or whenever you have any controllers, you need a memory. So there are certain rules and regulations are there how you can map memory with the input output devices. It means that whatever memories are available in that memory, you can categorize that part. This particular memory is used for this particular memory is used for this, like that. So that is called memory map. So whenever you are interfacing with any input output devices, you need a port address. That port address will be defined by the memory itself. So let us discuss which type of memory is available in this and how can you categorize them. Now you can see, first I will see, this is the memory. Okay, so in the memory there are some parts like flash memory, bootstrap loader, RAM, 16-bit peripherals or 8-bit peripherals. So these are different sectors of memory which helps to communicate with the devices. Now you can see the flash memory is written that interrupt vectors. So the address of memory is written 0 cross FFFF. So the maximum memory location you can interface 0000 to FFF. This is the available memory space in the memory. And also you can access the memory either by word or by byte. If you will access with byte, then you need one memory location. If you access with the word, you need two memory locations. So this flash memory is of 512 byte and also 128 byte is there. I will tell you what is the X and what is the 2. There are different segments are there. I will discuss in the next slides. Bootstrap loader. All of you know that if you are manufacturing memory, pen drive, flash drive, any type of, then some memory is reserved, some memory is conserved for the manufacturer. If some problems will occur, then with the help of that location, he will rectify the problem. For that purpose, the bootstrap loader is available. And also RAM is also type of memory, and also 16-bit peripherals and 8-bit peripherals. Now you have two types of devices you want to interface. Because any devices you are interfacing that is of 16-bit and any other devices that is of 8-bit. तो 8-bit और 16-bit के जो हमारा peripheral devices है उसके लिए locations fix है कि between these locations you can interface that, between this location you can interface that. And also the general memory locations, whatever you are using for storing the data, that locations also be useful for the interfacing part. Okay, that's why you see that the green color thing is showing that up to this. Okay, missing these two things you can connect anywhere in the memory. So first you can see this is called unified memory map. It having absolutely no page. Look, all of you know the page. What is the meaning of page? Page is a, if you are talking about book, page is a one page, two page, second page, third page, like that. So it is a part of book. So same way page is defined by the sectors of memory. Every memory will be there. Let us consider this is a memory. Then this sectors is available in the memory. That is also called as location. Okay. So this is called paging. So you can divide memory in a page like a book. And also, what is the memory paging? When we are talking about the memory paging, it means that in computer operating systems, memory paging is a memory management scheme by which a computer stores and retrieves data from secondary storage for use in memory. All of you know that when you are going to design a system, there are two types of memory will be there. One is called primary memory, another is called secondary memory. Primary memory is also called as main memory. So one is main memory, another is secondary memory. If you want to transfer the data, either you can store the data or you can retrieve the data from there. With the help of this, you can either store the data or you can retrieve the data. So whenever you want to use the data, whatever available in the secondary memory, first you have to bring out from secondary memory to the main memory. Then you can able to do certain tasks. So this comes from the memory patching. मेमोरी पैचिंग में क्या होगा कि जो हमारे पास दो टाइप की मेमोरीज हैं, सेकेंडरी मेमोरी से डेटा अगर मेन मेमोरी में लाना है या मेन मेमोरी से डेटा अगर स्टोर करना है सेकेंडरी मेमोरी में, देन दिस इज कॉल्ड मेमोरी पैचिंग. Okay, so these words are very specific. You can remember that in this type of questions will ask you exams. Now we will talk about the second point is called consistent instructions. Consistent instructions means whatever instructions are available, this is having a fixed size and slot. Means if any instructions will take 2 clock cycles, 3 clock cycles, 4 clock cycles, like that. So it will be fixed. It will not vary with that. When you are manufacturing a controller, with the help of that you can defining that instructions also. Also, when you want to access the memory, you can access byte access. If you there are two types of access. Either you can read byte or you can read word. So in byte it means that you can read 8-bit data at a time. In byte it means that you can read 16-bit data at a time. So whenever you will access byte with 8-bit data, then either you can use even or odd. There is no problem in that. So there are two types of locations are there, even address location and odd address locations. Let us consider this is the memory. I will start from the 000 and then 0001. Correct? So this is called even address and this is called odd address. So whenever you are accessing byte, you can access from any locations, either even or odd. No problem with that. But in the case of word access, if you are going to read the word, it means 16-bit data, then you can read only even address. It means either you can read 00. If you are reading this 00 location, in this data and this data will be both read by the processor. So the odd will comes automatically. So there is no need to write or there is no need to uh, write even address. So remember that odd address is not useful in the case of word access. So whenever you want to read a word, then you have to use either any even locations, whatever you want. Now we will see this the 512 byte and 128 byte. This will be written as 2 and this is written as x. So you have to understand what is the meaning of x and what is the meaning of x. Now this whole is a flash memory and this is also called as interrupt vector. Why it is called interrupt vector? Since this memory locations you can also use as an interrupt. Okay. Now, so there are two segments. One is called X segments, another is called A segments. Okay. In this segment, flash memory segments, one is 512 byte, another is 128 byte. In 512 byte, what will happen? We are converting from segment 0, segment 1, segment X. Like I told you, paging. Okay. So in the page, what will happen? First page, second page, third page. Like this, this is the segment 0, segment 1, segment X. So these all memory locations is divided in this way so that you can read it and you can use it as an interrupt vector. But this segment is not used as an interrupt vector. So this is segment is used called segment A and segment B. So this 128 byte memory is divided into two parts, that is called segment A and segment B. And this segment 0 to segment 1 is divided into 512 times. Okay. So now you can see that what is the facts of this actual fact of this memory, flash memory. So now this is the main memory, and this is the 512B segments are there. 512 byte segments are there. Information is 2 into 128 byte will be there, and 4 into 16 byte segments are there. Now you can understand this is 2 into 128 byte, which means that segment weight is a 128 byte and segment B is also 128 byte. Now this is the operating range 1.8 to 3.6 volt operations. So you remember that MSC port operating voltage is 1.8 to 3.6 volt. Anyhow, you are going to supply the 5 volt, but you will use 1.8 to 3.6 volt. If you are supplying voltage between this 1.8 to 3.6, then this microcontroller will work fine. There will be no problem in that. Whenever it will be less than 1.4, 1.8 volt, then I already told you one circuit is there that will be switched off all the things. This is the comes to the power management module, and the circuit name is called brownout protection circuit. So whenever supply fails below 1.8 volts, then this circuit will active and it will be switch off all the systems. Now, but 2.7 volt to 3.6 volt. This is the programming erase circuit. So if you want to use programming, if you want to write the programs or you want to erase the programs, then the voltage requirement will be 2.7 volt to 3.6 volt. But if you are supplied 2.2 volt also, it will work fine. There is no problem there. But the operating conditions is 2.7 volt to 3.6 volt. And also 100K erase your program cycle. How many times you can erase or you can program? Like all of you know that whenever you take the pen drive, after certain times, after 4 years, 3 years, 10 years later, this pen drive will not work. So already I told you, whenever you are erasing the data, this data will be compressed and it will be living in that particular location. So एक समय आएगा कि वो डेटा होते 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 डेटा पूरा फुल हो जाएगा. Then you are not able to, you don't have any space so that you can use it. So in this way, you can 100K times you can erase or you can programs of this memory, and also 100-year data retention. Whatever the data is available in the memory, either you can erase the data within 100 years, you can retain the data from there. मतलब उससे हम बैकअप ले सकते हैं, उससे हम रिट्राइव डेटा को कर सकते हैं, ठीक है, up to 100 years. Now we are talking about the flash programming. In the flash programming, flash programming is a system programmable. With the help of that, we can write a program for the systems and also JTAG interface. JTAG already discussed. Joint Test Access Group. This is used for the testing the circuit. So at the time of testing the circuit, we also have to write the programs. And also bootstrap loader. Every memory having some amount of memory is placed for manufacture. If any defect will occur or any problem will occur, then he will try to solve it. So this is all about the memory which is available in MSC 430. How can you map with this memory? So whatever the segments are available, in that segments you can interface directly. Now the next I will discuss the pull-up and pull-down registers. So I think all of you know the pull-up and pull-down registers. So when I am taking pull-up register, it means that this will give a output as a 1. When you are doing pull-down register, it will give a 2. What is the meaning of exactly? If you are supplying 0, then this will work fine. If this supplying 1, it means it will work fine. So that is the pull-up and pull-down registers. But this circuitry is available on the MSC 430 board. We don't have to connect from outside. So you have to understand how this pull-up and pull-down register will work. Now you can see all ports pins offer selectable pull-up or pull-down registers. So it will depend upon you which port you want to use as a pull-up or which port you want as a pull-down. Just consider in the right side peak diagram, port 1 and port 2. I have just defined that port 1 and port 2 with interrupted port, with interrupted port. So one is acting as a pull-up and one is acting as a pull-down. But port 1, port 2, I have defined it, but it's not the meaning that port 1 is only used for the pull-up. Port 1 is also used for the pull-up and pull-down devices. Port 2 is also used for the pull-up and pull-down devices. Okay, now when you want to use this pull-up and pull-down concept, what will happen? Now first you have to understand first you have to understand, you can see there are one pin is there that is called PXRE. This PXRE is a bit which is used for resistors for activity. Means with the help of PXRE pin you can activate either in pull-up mode or in pull-down resistors. Okay, so first any system is there, you have to activate the system, enable the system. So with the help of this PXRE, you can enable the system. That's it, you can understand. And now with the help of PX bit, it will depend upon that which either you can use, you want to use as a pull-up registers or pull-down registers. So with the help of PX out bit, you can configure the output, means you can control the output either 0 or 1. Now you can see below the diagram is there. With the help of diagrams, you can understand, try to understand. All of you know that digital circuit designs, logics, so we can try that. So see that this is, I have whatever I have rounded off, this is comes under pull up and pull down selections. How can be it be selected? So the first thing is, I already discussed PXRN pins are there and PX out X pins are there. So PXREN is activating the systems, enabling the systems. It means that whenever you want to use as a pull up or pull down, this will be one always. Okay. Now it will depends upon the PX output. Now PX output is controlling this multiplexer. So now whenever PX out is controlling, it means whenever it is 0, it will provide 0, and when it is 1, it will provide 1. 1 or 0 defines by DVSS and DVCC. It means that digital VSS and digital VCC. Okay. Now, with the help of these pins, you can collecting the final multiplexers. So whenever this bit 1 and this bit is 0, then finally you can activate this. This is 1, and you can going to activate this mux. Okay. So now with the help of this mux, you can send 1, and then you can act as a pull up registers. Okay. So what will happen actually when you are using the PIN and PXRIN and PX out pins? One pins are also there, that is called PXDIR. So PXDIR is used for, DIR indicates the direction. So PXDIR is used for the directing the pins, directing the ports. Directing the, what is the meaning of directing the ports? It means that either it will work as an input or either it will work as an output. So in this way you can going to configure it. So now what is the steps? What is the pins? Now you can see, in order to control pull up and pull down modes, two registers will be used, that is called PXRIN and PX out. With the help of this pin, you can use the pull up modes and pull down modes. Now what is the use of PXRIN? I told you PXRIN is used for the enabling systems, enabling the registers. So with the help of if PXRIN equal to 1, it means that you are going to enable pull up registers, and if PRX is equal to 0, then it disables pull up registers. Means that PXRIN is used for enabling or disabling the registers. Without enabling, you can't able to use the PX out pins. Remember that. अगर सिस्टम इनेबल नहीं होगा, अगर रजिस्टर्स इनेबल नहीं होगा, तो हम उस रजिस्टर को डिफाइन नहीं कर सकते हैं आइदर इन पुल अप रजिस्टर्स और पुल डाउन रजिस्टर्स. सो उसके लिए हम क्या करना पड़ेगा? फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू हैव टू enables the registers. Okay, so the PX are used for enabling the registers. You can remember like that. So if it is 1, it means enable. If it is 0, it means disable. In any microcontrollers, this will work fine. If it is enabled, it means 1. If it is disabled, it means 0. Whenever PX out pins, when the pin is in input mode, REN is enabled. This register selects whether the register is pull up or pull down. So now this REN, whenever this pin is enabled, then this PX out pin will indicate that either you are going to use as a pull up or pull down. So if PX out equal to 1, it means that you are going to use pull up devices, pull up registers. If it is 0, it means that you are going to use pull down registers. So before that, you have to enable the registers. Remember that. Without enabling the registers, you can't able you to use the pull up registers and pull down registers. What is the steps for configuring the pull up mode? So first, set the pin direction P1.0 to 1.4 and P1 DIR equal to 0. Now, which port you want to use, you can use as a P1 DIR. Okay, so P1 DIR is called P1 direction. Whenever this bit equal to 0, it means that it is an input pin. When it is 1, it means that it is an output pin. So you have to configure this. With the help of ampersand P1 DIR equal to 0, if you want to use this pin as a input pin, if you want to use as output pin, then you have to write ampersand P1 DIR equal to 1. The first thing is you have to set the pin direction. The second thing is you have to enable the registers. For enabling the registers themselves, you can use ampersand P1 REN equal to 1. Okay. So now after enabling the registers, you can configure the PX out pin. Either you can pull down or pull down. So here ampersand P1 out equal to 1, I have put it 1. It means that this will work as a pull up registers. So with the help of 3 steps, you can define any port as a pull up registers. Any port means general purpose input output pins. We are not going to configure the special functions pins. All of you know that some special functions are also present in the microcontroller. Okay. So now I will discuss the GPI controls. So GPI controls is called general purpose input output control. So all of you know that microcontrollers is there. In this microcontrollers, several pins are there. With the help of several pins, you are going to use or you are going to configure this pin as a input devices or output devices. Okay. Some pins are also available which is having special functions. So let us discuss in 1 or 2 slides what is the GPI and what is the use of this. Okay. How can you control this type of pins? Now you can see the GPI or instant general purpose input output refers to the pins can support both output and input. So some pins are available that pins will be used as an input or as an output. But you have to define it. Correct? So for defining it, you can use the instructions. With the help of instructions, you are going to define which pins you are going to use as input and which pin you are going to output. With the help of PXDIR. With this, okay. Now, pins capable of GPI functionality and control is indicated with the naming X and Y. So whenever there is a general notation that is called PX point Y. So this X is called as port. Means port 1, then you have to put x equal to 1. Port 2, then x equal to 2. Port 3 equal to then x equal to 3. This is the general reference. Now, whatever by is written, this by is telling that number of pins. Now, let us consider port 1. I am telling about port 1. So, port 1 having 8 bit pins, means 8 different pins. So, how can you represent the 7th pin? So, it depends upon here with the help of by. Okay. So, the first pin is negated by equal to 0. Remember that. So, let's start from 0. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like that. So, this is the representation. How can you represent this port and pins? Without representation, if you are not able to write correct representation, then in the programs assembler will not understand what you have written. So that's why it makes a rule. Now some, and also you can, some pins are GPI only with no specialized functions. कुछ ऐसे pins हैं जो सिर्फ इनपुट और आउटपुट के लिए यूज हैं, but some pins are used for the special functions. The bit controlling the pin. Some pins are used for the bit control. Bit control means let us consider any status registers are there, any flag registers are there. In that particular flag, you can affect one bit. Okay, and also each port is assigned several 8-bit registers that controls functions of the pins or provides information on their current status. So now every port, whatever ports are available, all ports are having 8-bit. Remember that. Now, when you are using any input-output pins, you need, there are 4 different registers. That is called PX select, ACL select, PX DIR, that is called port direction, PX out, port out pins, PX in, port in pins. PX out and PX in is used for the input-output devices. When you want to interface any input devices, if you want to send the data, then you can use PX in pins. And if you want to interface the output devices, then you can want to send the data, then you can use PX out pins. So now the first is PX select pins. So what is the use of PX select pins? So now the PX select pins, there are 2 types of select registers are there, PX select and PX select 2. So what is the use of PX select and what is the use of PX select 2? Now you can see some registers are used, some pins are used for the special functions. I already told you. But let us consider एक ऐसा पिन है जो कि स्पेशल फंक्शंस में काम कर रहा है, लेकिन वो 2-3 फंक्शंस में काम कर रहा है. ठीक है, तो एक तो हो गया जनरल पर्पस, मतलब इनपुट और आउटपुट. दूसरा हो गया स्पेशल फंक्शन. लेकिन स्पेशल फंक्शंस में भी अगर 2-3 फंक्शंस में काम कर रहा है, दैट इज कंट्रोल्ड बाय द PX select 2 pins. So PX select 2 is not always available and is used to augment the number of multiplex options if the pin is various possible. अगर more or one or more specialized functions है, then we are going to use the PX select 2 pins. Otherwise, we are not going to use that PX select pins. Only we can use the PX select pins. So you can, with the help of PX select pins, if this will be 0, it means that this pin is work as a GPIO mode, means general purpose input. And if you are putting PX select bit equal to 1, it means that it is used for the specialized one. So if you want to use the pins in which mode, it depends upon you. So you have a choice which pin will be able to select and which mode with the help of PX select bit. तो सिंपल सी बात है, PX select bit हम यूज करते हैं इसके लिए. Either you can activate this pin as a GPIO mode or you can activate as a specialized functions. ऐसा नहीं है कि अगर मान लो PX select की वैल्यू हमने बंद रख दिया तो you can not able to use the GPIO mode for that particular pin. So now there are 3 more pins are there, that is called PXDIR. I already told you this pin is used for the direction, defining the direction of the pin. Direction means input or output, anyone. Okay, so now if this pin is set to operate as a GPIO, the bits in the register select whether pin is high impedance input 0 or out. Now you can understand Px dir equal to 0. It means that set pins into input mode. If you want to use pin as an input mode, then you can use Px dir equal to 0. If you want to use as output mode, then you can use Px dir equal to 1. So now let us consider I want to use mode 1 as an input mode. So how can you write that? Ampersand P1 dir equal to 0. Okay. Same pins, if you want to use as output pins, you can use this equal to 1. So just Px direction is defined, used for the defining input pins or output pins. Simple. Now the Px out pins is set to operate as a GPI output. Then pin selects one and no regarding. Now, when I already discussed what is the use of Px out pin. Px out equal to 1, it means that you are going to enable the pull-up registers. Px out equal to 0, it means that leaves the input in a high impedance state. All of you studied the high impedance state. Whenever the pins in a pins in a high impedance state, it means that you cannot able to decide the value of that pin. Okay. And also, if it is a PXIN pin, this pin is set to operate as a GPIO input. This pin indicates whether the voltage at the pin is higher. So PX in is generally used for the input pins. Okay. And PX out, how the PX out pins, with the help of PX out pin, you can enabling the pull-up registers or pull-up registers. Okay. So if you are enabling the pull-up register, it means that you are fetching the output. If you are not enabling the pull-up register, it means that you can't able to send the output data to the other devices. It means that it is an high impedance state. So I think all of you have overall idea about the GPIO control pins and pull-up registers and memory bank. So these three topics I discussed today. If you have any doubt, you can tell me.